Hey everyone, welcome to the Gigs and Rigs show. I'm Dan.
I'm Joe. Lizzie's over there on the knobs.
I'm back.
Oh,
Like that?
spectacular.
That wouldn't have made it through the compressor. But anyway, I hope you're all awesome. Thank you for joining us. BV, hello mate. I hope you're awesome. BV is in the doing moderating things, making sure that everyone's behaving themselves today. Yes, thank you, mate. Muchly appreciated. So big announcement from us today. The web editor is out there. It's live. It's happening. It's changing lives, which is very cool.
So cool.
So cool.
Finally, yes. Incredible.
So I'm going to play a little video that shows you about the web editor. But for now, I just want to make sure, Lizzie, everything okay? Everyone
Yes.
happy?
Had a moment. Everyone's happy. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Brilliant. Okay, here we go. Introducing the GigRig G3 web editor.
The new web editor is here! That's right, the web editor is finally here, and we're going to take you through what it does, how to use it, and frequently asked questions.
The new G3 web editor gives you complete remote control over your G3 using your laptop. It allows you to do software updates, backups, and live editing.
There are now two ways to connect your G3 to your computer. You can either use Bluetooth, or you can now use a USB to MIDI cable.
But the first thing we need to do is update our G3 to the newest software.
Well, gosh, how do we do that?
First, we need the software. Go to thegigrig.com, head to software updates, and download the latest version.
Next, we head to the web editor. We hit the BLE for Bluetooth on update, and we hit connect.
Next, head into the deep edit, scroll down to globals, then scroll down to Bluetooth, and head into update.
Now on the computer, we should see your serial number, so select on that, click connect.
Next, we're going to click on choose file and select the update that we want to update the unit with, most likely in your downloads.
The unit will now start sending packets over. It'll take about 10 minutes to go grab a coffee.
When it's done, you should see a message on the screen that says checksum OK and press 4. So you're going to press foot switch 4.
If you see anything else on the screen other than that message, press 3 to go back. Now we're going to connect to the web editor and have some fun.
With the new software installed in your unit, you can now connect to the web editor in a couple of different ways, either via Bluetooth or via MIDI to USB.
Let's check out the live edit feature using the MIDI to USB cable. It is very important that you open the web editor in Google Chrome browser.
On the web editor, select MIDI and then select Edit G3.
Or if you have an Atom, select Edit Atom. On the G3 menu, go Globals, MIDI Utilities, and then Live Edit.
Now on the web editor, hit Connect.
Now that's connected, hit a preset on the web editor and all of the information from your G3 will now be displayed on the editor.
Edit presets, change loop order, create parallel signal chains, edit your MIDI. Anything that you can do on the G3, you can now do within the web editor.
We launched the web editor last weekend, and here's some of the questions that we've received.
How do I connect my MIDI cables from my computer to my G3?
So it's important to make sure that using a MIDI to USB cable, that the MIDI in of the cable goes into the MIDI out of G3, and the MIDI out of the cable goes into MIDI in of G3. If you're using MIDI-enabled devices, just plug the MIDI in into the final pedal. Make sure that MIDI through is enabled on all of your MIDI devices. I'm having trouble finding my unit with Bluetooth.
The most common cause of this is external interference. The best thing to do is to move your laptop closer to your unit and disconnect any external hard drives.
One of the great things about the MIDI to USB connection is there's no interference.
I'm having trouble connecting my unit to my laptop.
If you follow this order, it's pretty much bulletproof. Go to the function on the web editor that you want to use, select either MIDI to USB or Bluetooth. Now go to the corresponding function on G3 and then hit connect on the web editor.
Of course, if you have any further questions, get in touch via support@thegigrig.com or ask Virtual Dan.
Thanks for watching. We're really excited to see what you do with the new web editor and we hope you enjoy. See ya!
There we go. The new web editor.
Ta-da!
Boy. So, first of all, thank you all for your patience with this. It has been an epic task. Massive thank you to Schlappe and, of course, to Michael, our software guy. Been working on this relentlessly for a long time. So it's finally done. It's out. It's a beautiful thing. So shall we get into it?
Let's do it.
First of all, Lizzie, does anyone have any questions? Oh, first of all, Jake's not here today, just if anyone has noticed.
Miss you.
How could you? Yes. They're sending love to Jake. Yes.
We have, obviously, as always, lots of lovely people in the chat.
Beautiful.
We've got Dave Lewis. I've remembered and been able to come to this week's live stream.
Yay.
Charbono, yes, good morning from Minneapolis. Kay Cole, hope you're all well. We've got Kieran Jones, says good day. G-Bard joining the happy group. Adventures in Gearland, hello loves, hope everyone's being excellent to each other. Look forward to hearing about this update.
Amazing.
So, lots of people excited for it.
Beautiful.
I have one question.
Yes.
I'm going to just throw in there. I don't think it's directly linked to the web editor, but it's MIDI question. I use a preset with expression CC on my H9. If I add a Stompbox mode preset on top of it, the expression setting stops working.
I would check what you've got programmed in that Stompbox mode.
Yes. Go into that preset. So hit the preset, hit Stompbox mode, then hit the preset again. Go into the MIDI of that preset and just make sure that everything's turned off. The way the Stompbox works is if you've got a MIDI message and CC messages and stuff in the Stompbox mode, it will take precedent over whatever's going on in the presets. And the reason that it's like that, if you imagine that you've got your H9 and you've got one Stompbox thing set up for a whammy, and so when you go to that Stompbox, you want the expression and everything to work as a whammy pedal, so the Stompbox will take precedent. But when you come out of that and go back to the preset, it goes back to those the original MIDI settings.
So if you've got a CC message in that Stompbox mode, that will take precedent over the expression pedal. So that could be causing some conflict.
Yeah. So just go in there, just clear everything else, and then you'll be good.
Thank you.
There we go.
Rocking.
That's
Pleasure.
all at the moment.
Cool. Okay, well, any questions, put them in the chat and we will get to them. But I thought I would just show you what's going on. So, Lizzie, if you can go to the screen, please. And I think you should still be able to hear the microphones, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Yes. All right, great. So, Joe, if we go to preset 1. So this is my bypass preset. So all the effects are off. So now back to the pedal board, Lizzie, you'll see preset 1 is illuminated here. Everything else is off. And it's just my guitar going through to the amp.
What would the internet be without "Here's my clean tone" at the start of the video?
Here's my clean tone. Yes, that's a little bit of Madison Cunningham there. She showed me how to play that. I've been trying to work out that riff for years because it's the coolest thing I've ever heard. And I said, Maddie, please show me how you do that. And she started doing it. And then she started singing the song. And of course, the reason it wasn't out a couple of weeks ago is it got flagged as a copyright. So we had to go through all that. But oh man, she's just amazing. She's on that pedal show tomorrow on Friday.
Amazing.
Far out. So anyway, so there's my clean tone, right? So now, if we go back to this screen, Lizzie, we've got what you can see in yellow are my Stompbox presets. Okay, so for example, Joe, if you hit 2, I can add my fuzz to my clean tone. Okay, and then back to preset 1. There you go, beautiful. Now, if we go to another preset, let's go to the Reeve. Oh, yeah, baby. ha, ha, ha. To the pedal board, please, Lizzie. So this is the Jester. So
Nice.
let's back to the screen, Lizzie. Now we're going to add some delay to this. So on the screen, you can see now the delay is lit up in red, right? Saying that is now added to the preset. Let's add the treble booster to that sound now as well. And back to the clean sound. So I'm going through the presets, which is great. The one really cool thing about this approach is I can actually have my board set up in the studio, have the laptop back in the control room, and just control things. But here's the really cool thing. I can now add loops and actually edit the preset, right? So for example, if we go to the Reeve number 4, all right. So we see loop 4 has been turned on there. Let's add some compression to that one. And can you add the red wing to that as well, please? In number 7. Oh, no, so number 8. Let's turn the red wing off and let's go to the timeline. Now, we go back to preset 1. See, everything's turned off. And now back to preset 4. Back to 1. So I can now program my presets, which we couldn't do before on the previous web editor, which is so cool. What else can we do, Joe?
We can edit MIDI, we can edit expression, we can change the order of the effects, we can set up parallel signal chains.
It's all there.
Trails, it's all there.
It's all there.
Doing its thing. So basically, you've got your bank and your preset at the top here.
Yep.
And then once that's, whatever that's illuminated on,
yes,
this will affect each. So if I change my preset to, let's say, preset 3.
yes,
now I can go into here and I can edit this.
all the MIDI for that preset.
Yeah.
So,
Or change the order.
but also it's important to know that this is a live thing, right? So this is connected into G3 and G3 is connected into this. So what's happening on the laptop is reflected in G3 and what happens in G3 is reflected in the laptop. So for example, if we go into the H9, which is there, now, because that's part of the, if you, go to Stomp Box and then,
oh no, you go like that.
Yep.
And then you do that.
Oh, very nice. Okay, so let's go into
The
MIDI so that you can see what's going on. So I've got one MIDI message going here, which is MIDI message channel 4.
0, 0. It's the very first MIDI message.
There you go. There you go. So let's go back to the preset now. And just to show what's going on, if you hit now preset number 1 and now go back to the MIDI, you see there's no MIDI on that preset. So yeah, you just hit the preset, then you can go and edit all your MIDI stuff. Yeah. Now, once you've got all that going, you can then copy and paste banks, copy and paste presets. But there's one other thing here that's really, really cool, which I just want to show you. Let's go back to the preset. Next to pre-gain, we can see the pre-gain is on, and then we've got the loops. So I can name the loops. And why this is really cool is it just means that when I'm programming this, I don't have to try and remember what's in loop 4, what's in loop 7. I can see it all there. And then, of course, I can name the presets. So where it says Reeve there, well, let's try and do this live. We're going to call this one Jester, right? So go all the way back, Jestr, because it's only got 5 letters. There you go. So now, Lizzie, if you come to the board, we should see preset number 4.
Yeah, it's done it. Of course it's done it.
There we go. So
It's all live.
just so cool. It's all live. It's all live. It's wonderful. Yeah. Once you start playing with it, you think, oh, this is easy. I can't believe it took them so long, but actually making it so easy is what took so long.
I think it's exactly the same as G3.
Yeah.
When you first see it, it might look a bit intimidating, but as soon as you start playing with it,
It's so easy.
it just makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Should I throw some questions your way
Yes,
quickly?
please do.
Just do it.
From Reese Richardson, will this web editor help me integrate my new +4 into my Atom rig?
It absolutely will.
Yep.
So there are 2 ways that you can integrate your +4 into Atom Rig. Thank you very much for getting the +4, and thank you to everyone that bought +4 and everyone that bought everything that we make. It's just still blows my mind. It's wonderful. So the 2 ways that you can connect your +4 to your Atom. If we go to the screen, Lizzie, see we have these remote switches here. Each of these remote switches, remote switch 1 and 2 is on a TRS pair. Remote switch 3 and 4 is on a TRS pair. So you can take 2 TRS cables, plug them into your +4, and simply control the +4 with the remote switches. It's very easy, right? But if you're already using your remote switches to change channels in your amp or do something else, then all we need to do is go to MIDI. So plug the MIDI cable out of G3 or out of the last pedal, MIDI pedal in your rig, into the MIDI input of +4. And then you simply, on the side of +4, there's a little rotary dial to choose your MIDI channel, which is the easiest MIDI channel selection ever done on any MIDI pedal ever. You're welcome.
Yeah, there's no hold this, hold that, power it on, power it off, or whatever.
No, it's just take a little screwdriver and go, I want on a MIDI channel 3.
Yep.
Analog, baby. So you simply tell, once you've decided what channel that you want to go on, let's say you go on channel 3, all we'll do is we will select the channel. There we go, channel 3. And then we will select either the PC message or the CC message that we want to send to turn the loops on and off. What does that mean? It means that you can either program it to have loops set up in Stompbox mode, and for that thing I really like CC messages. That works really well. But if you have presets that you want, loops 3 and 4 turned on, excuse me, then in the manual, you'll see there are PC messages for every single combination possible for the loops and +4. It's just easy. Yeah,
so you just match it to that. You set that number here or within the G3 and away you go. Done.
Yeah. So the web editor does make that so easy. So once you've got it all plumbed in and you've got audio and everything's good, just connect the web editor and you can just go through it preset by preset and get the sounds up, and then there's no need to store anything. It's just all done.
It just saves automatically.
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Larry has said, hey guys, I downloaded the new editor and I seem to have a conflict with my H9 app. It wants to go to the H9 app when I click the download.
Yes.
Yes.
Because the H9 app also uses sysx messages.
Yes, indeed.
But there is something that you can do, right? Come on, there is.
I think the easiest way was to.
There is a different way. I tell you what, we will.
It's been a while since I've needed to answer that.
Yeah. So there is something that you can do in settings. Let me double check that, and I'll get back to you. But
because you can set it so that it allows you to choose, whereas by default it will just go to the most likely. I think.
Yeah. But there is in settings you can choose one or the other. Let me find out, and we'll get back to you. I'm sure Jake will know, but he's not here.
We miss you, Jake.
Yes. So, but we'll find out. If you want to email us, we'll get straight back to you and tell you exactly how to sort that out. Because I use the H9 as well, but I've had all my sounds saved for so long that I just have no need to do it. But the other thing, though, to remember, so you must have downloaded the sysx file on your phone or an iOS device.
Yeah. So you could go into downloads and then open with, and it should allow you.
That's it. There you go. Go into downloads, hit open with, and then open with the G3 web editor.
Should give you the option of
That
opening
is exactly how you do it.
Just needed a minute.
There you
Just
go.
needed to load for a sec.
Dave Lewis has said, what telly are you using, Dan?
Oh, okay. This
old thing.
This is my beloved 1965 telly. So for any fans of TPS, I think in like 10 years ago, we were contacted by a wonderful gentleman who said, I've got a bunch of old tellies, a bunch of old Fenders. I know you guys are really into your vintage Fenders. Do you want to come down and see them? We said, no.
Did you actually?
No, we didn't. We were straight there. And he must have had 20 old Fenders in that room. And it was just magic. And this was in the mix. And I played it, and it was the best telly I'd ever played. But it was expensive.
Of course it was.
And I'm not frequent with handing out fun vouchers, and certainly back then, there was just no way. But this guitar haunted me from the moment that I played it. I just couldn't get it out of my mind. A couple of years later, Mick and I did a series of videos. Like we did a budget rig, which is, we're poor, and then a no budget rig, like, anything we want. And I called them up and said, do you still have that telly? He says, actually, I do. So I drove down and got it and filmed the show. And I knew as soon as I picked it up that he wasn't getting it back. I didn't know what I was going to have to do. And I had to sell a lot of stuff. And also he wanted some gig rig stuff. So we did sort of a trade with a bunch of fun vouchers.
You never told me that story before.
Yeah.
No wonder you were so happy when you turned up with it.
Oh, man.
I remember the first day you turned up with it.
Well, just every now and then, there are guitars that you play and you connect with, and they just will not leave you alone.
Yeah. Me and Jake played some gigs last weekend, and someone I've known for a number of years came to the gig and was so surprised that I was still playing my white jazz.
Oh, wow, okay.
But it's just that for me, it was as soon as I picked it up at a trade show, I was like, this is just everything I'm pretty much ever going to need, which is the longest I've ever had an instrument for.
Nice. Very good. I mean, I like your other one.
My side.
I think that sounds good, but your white jazz is a very special.
It's just the one.
Yeah.
It's the maple neck. I'm telling you, it's the maple neck.
Yeah. Tis a groovy thing.
George has asked, web editor, is it for the Atom?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So if we go to the screen.
No way.
You can see at the top here where it says Edit G3, and then next to that it says Edit Atom. So it doesn't matter if you're using G3, G3S, Atom, or Atom S. It's all there.
We wouldn't leave the Atom out.
We wouldn't. Well, both you and Jake use Atoms.
Exactly. That would be sad, wouldn't it?
And yeah, and this is mine. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
Yeah.
Is it possible to show how the song list is working? I would like to export the songs created on my Atom, then reorder them in Editor and import them back into the Atom.
Yes, I don't have a song list in mind. So, but Joe?
I don't have a song list in mind because I'm a bass player and I tend to just use like 2.
I tell you what we'll do. We'll do.
Yeah, I'm not really using song lists at the moment. I've got everything I need organized into 2 banks.
It's interesting what you did there, because you went out of Edit G3. We'll now have to go back and reconnect. But anyway, that's cool. So what we'll do a separate song list video, because it's such a great feature. And once you've got it set up, I mean, you guys have been using song lists for the first, you know.
I've pared it all down and made it easier because I'm an idiot, and I get way too excited, and I will tap the bank button way too many times, even if I've got 2 foot switches set up as a bank up and down, and I end up overshooting it.
Okay.
And often I'm the first one to come in.
Okay.
So I pared it down.
I thought you'd have it all triggered by Ableton and all that stuff. No.
My other half, Claire, does everything via Ableton, and I like
you haven't
being
gone
a human being.
Yes, nice. Okay. No, we'll do a separate video on the song list stuff, because it's such a powerful thing. So the way to think of the song list, and especially pairing the phone app with the web editor. The phone app is what we call a live companion for G3.
Yeah, so it's the easiest way to change a song list right before a gig, because you can open the app and then, you can re-edit things and reorder them really easily on here. And I actually think that's probably the best thing to do if you're at a gig.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine you at a gig like, can I just get somewhere I can put my laptop?
But when you're naming your songs and all that sort of stuff, it's so much easier to do it in the editor. So we'll do a separate song list video. Yeah. We'll do that next week, actually, because I think that's really important, because it's such a cool feature in G3.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Kyle's just asked about an update on his Atom delivery. So I was just going to ask if he could email us on support@thegigrig.com, and I'll get back to him tomorrow.
Yes.
And let him know. Simon Dunmore, will the editor work with a CME H2 interface?
There's no reason why it shouldn't.
A CME H2 interface?
Yeah, it's the interface that UA Audio suggest using with their USB-C.
Oh, okay.
There's no reason why it shouldn't work. We haven't tried it ourselves, but
look, we've tried a bunch of that stuff, and it's been great.
It's just worked.
Yeah, so it's pretty solid. Man, I got this. Sorry, that 3-minute video, you wouldn't believe how long it took, and my voice has gotten really sexy, as you can hear. I've got a stupid cough.
Don't die.
It is stupid.
Last one at the moment. Is there a visual web diagram for pedal order in the parallel tab?
So the parallel tab at the moment is still text-based. The reason being to include graphics of all the possibilities for the parallel stuff is it's just too much. But I think what we'll do for the parallel thing is we'll release a separate video. I think the song list thing's important. The parallel thing's important. I'll do a bunch of whole new videos going into deep water with those new functions. But it works exactly the same way as if you're doing it inside G3.
I think the order within here is pretty easy, because you're going from right to left.
That's right.
And you can just select which loop you want in each position.
Yep.
So I think that makes easy sense, but I think that parallel times 4 it's a bit more complicated to visualize. You have to get your head around it before it makes sense, if that makes sense.
So we'll do a separate video for parallel times 4. Parallel times 4 means that you can have 4 separate stereo effects all in parallel, and then a separate dry signal. So let's just go back to the parallel times 4, just so we can show people how it works, right? So we have all of our loops here, and if let's say we choose 11 and 12. Sorry. Right. Here are our we've got 4 separate parallel feeds, and then they can either go to out 1 or out 2. So if we say loop 12 goes to A1 and loop 11 goes to A2, and let's go to loop 9 and 10, and let's say this is our stereo reverb. Let's say this goes to B1 and B2. That is literally how easy it is. So now we've separated parallel. All we need to do, where's our parallel type? You got parallel 4 enabled, which is beautiful. We're going to have split before. So all my overdrives are going to be going into it. So I'd normally split before. Yeah, 6 is fine. Split before 6 is fine. And then no join, which means after the parallel, we're not joining up. We're going
to 2 separate amps.
Oh, I've forgotten one thing. This is great. I'll do a deep dive on that because it's awesome. But we've been asked for this since day 1, and it's finally included in the new update. Can you go to miscellaneous? Go to global. Right, the very bottom, global mono. If you have a stereo rig, but you've only got 1 amplifier, we can turn on global mono.
Ta-da!
So what that means is it will disable output 2 and sum everything to output 1.
We have been asked about that a lot, to be fair.
That's all you got to do in global settings. So if you put on global mono now, and then I'm only going through output 1, but let's go back to preset, and then hit. Am I in output 1? There you go.
Hang on. One momento. It's because...
Oh, you got the parallel times 4 on.
Yeah.
Okay, let's turn the parallel off for a second. There we go. Right, now if you can turn the delay on for me, which is 11 and 12. I just hit delay.
Yeah, there you go.
Hear the 2 delays?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're summing it to mono, baby.
So then, just to prove a point, 1 second, if we go back to that, and we go stereo enabled.
There it is.
There you
Now
go.
only one side of the delay is working.
Ta-da!
Man.
It works.
That's
Works
so
perfectly.
cool. That's so cool. Yeah, so there you go. If you've got a stereo rig and you only got 1 amp for the night, global mono, sum it all to 1 output. And it's easy. So easy.
Just works so easily.
So good.
With editing song names in the editor, Adistom has said the text isn't often not centered. Is there a way to preview what it will look like in G3? Currently he adds dummy characters and then removes them.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know
I'm
about
not sure about that.
We'll have a play.
Can play.
Can you could you email us at support@thegamerig.com, because that's really interesting, because we haven't seen that ourselves.
No.
So I'd like to see.
Because Mike's really on it with that stuff.
Yeah.
He doesn't like it when
We
things
don't want wonky
line up.
letters.
Yeah.
No one wants a wonky letter.
Also, Joe, your email inbox is irking people,
Yeah,
so
I know.
you need to get on that tomorrow.
No, we're not.
Brian Carpenter said, off topic, but am I able to use a loop on my QMX as a stereo split?
Sorry, say that again.
Am I able to use a loop on my QMX as a stereo split?
As a stereo split. Well, you can, but you can't come back into the QMX as stereo. Yeah, because the QMX is only mono. So you could come out of it, you could go into a humdinger, split it, or you come out of it, go into a stereo pedal and go left and right, but there's no left and right inputs back into the quartermaster. So
No.
yeah, no. I don't.
Thank you.
I have trouble saying no
I know.
because it goes, oh, how can we do that?
But you can't.
Now I won't sleep
But
tonight.
the
Oh,
QMX
no.
is mono. That's
Quartermaster is mono.
just it. So it has to be a no, because it's
It
mono.
has to be a no.
Remember that, Dan.
Good enough
it
for
has
Robin
to be a
There
no.
you go.
Good enough for me.
Do we have any pedal news this week?
We
Or
do.
we-
Oh,
do.
far out. Pedal
Sure.
news.
I was wondering if we go on to a bit of pedal news, if there's any more questions about the web editor, we could catch up on those after.
Okay, great. So, pedal news.
So, here's a pedal that I found that's been out a little while, but I've never heard of it before, and I think it's very cool.
Okay, let's do it. First of all, whoever did the graphics for that pedal, please get in touch.
Aren't they?
Isn't it gorgeous? Absolutely beautiful.
They are wonderful.
Yeah.
Love them.
But so, I mean, look at that, right? There are 6 knobs on that pedal.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't know.
Yeah, it doesn't feel cluttered.
It doesn't feel cluttered. That, people,
And
is
a
the
switch.
power of amazing graphic design.
Yep, and you've got all this dead space here, technically,
Yep.
but it still looks great.
It looks
Top tip.
fantastic. But you can look at that and go, oh, I get that. I know what's going on.
Yep.
So C1's always been a massive favourite of mine. And, you know, I remember when I did, Boss had was it 50 years or 70? I can't quite remember. Well, maybe it was the 70th anniversary. And Mick and I were down at, it's in London, the Vans room in London.
Yeah.
And Mick had just been on the road with Rabia, right? I love telling the story. So this is still our first year of doing it, maybe the end of our first year. And up to that point, I was still playing 4 or 5 nights a week, and I was sort of, on it. And Mick was a lot more tentative with his guitar playing. He goes on the road with Rabia for a week. He comes back and he'd turn into a fire-breathing demon monster.
Really?
Right? I'd never, like the transformation just blew my mind. I'd not experienced anything like it before. He'd always played like that, but for the show, he'd purposely kept it back.
Oh, interesting.
Right?
Interesting.
And then he comes up and he's like sets up at this thing and he just unleashes the tiger. And I thought, wow, okay, well, what am I going to do now? Because so what I did, I got my CE1, put it on my board, just cranked the preamp. And I'm like, all right, people, what's the best overdrive pedal you've ever heard? And like
Totally,
I said,
man.
it's a chorus pedal. And it just went, whong, and just peeled the paint off the
Yeah, the
walls.
preamp is amazing.
The preamp in the CE1. I first heard that being used by Jim Magini of Midnight Oil, and hearing the all that stuff. That's Beds of Burning stuff, and the gain and stuff he got from that CE1 was just amazing. So yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful circuit, and I think they've done an amazing job.
Ta-da! Right,
there you go. What's next?
So I think you're the same. I have a special place in my heart for anything that is color sound.
Yes.
Or solar sound.
Yes.
They've released a new version that is, from what I understand, the best version of like a kept tone bender that was in someone's loft that's been kept in perfect condition.
Okay.
And this is like square wave destruction.
Oh, really? Okay.
It'll go into like full on disgusting
harshness,
fuzz, but also come back.
Okay, let's hear it.
You know what I'm doing? I'm just going to put it on full. Just going to roll back a bit.
Just gnarly, but it cleans up.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing how many of these lost circuits are now finding their way into manufacturing. Right? Yeah.
Do you think everyone's just been sat on them waiting?
No,
or do you
I think
it's.
You saw, so the JHS thing was really interesting, and that was a really great story. I think if you start digging around, oh man, I can show you some of the lost stuff that we've got.
True, yeah. Yeah.
You know, I think every manufacturer has got some of that stuff laying around, but you know, these designs are old, and a lot of these designers aren't with us anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it'd be interesting. Yeah, I'll have to look into that, because it's the interesting thing about the tone bender. It's a 3 transistor fuzz, right? So Gary Hurst, who was working at Color Sound back in the 60s, someone brought in FZ1A.
Yep.
And said, "Can you help me? I think this is broken." And the FZ1A used to run on like a 3-volt battery, purposely designed to sound completely broken. So what Gary did was he put another transistor in front of it as a buffer, increased the headroom, and then made the rest of the circuit work with a buffer. Because one thing that happens with the old 2 transistor fuzzes, like, you know, fuzz faces and things, it's all dependent on the impedance that hits it. But the reason that a lot of humbucker players prefer the tone bender is because of that 3 transistor design. It still cleans up to a point, not like a fuzz face because of that impedance mismatch, but the humbucker still has clarity.
Yeah, it's not being pushed so hard that it's...
Yeah, well, it's the relationship between the inductance of the coils and the input impedance of the fuzz is different because of that first transistor. So you get, you know, as the 60s roll on, you start seeing tone benders on David Bowie's guitar player, Mick Ronson's board. You start seeing them with Clapton. You start seeing them sort of pop up everywhere. But what's interesting is we did a show at Color Sound before they shut shop in London, and he's got the prototype fuzz face there.
Really?
Because the tone bender the 2.5 I think is a fuzz face. It's a 2 transistor one, and it's amazing. It was like, and that's just in a box, you know. And he's like, he doesn't tell anyone it's there because it's like, this is the thing.
That's insane.
But
I love stuff like that. When it's like, you want to see the original one, and it's just.
Well, I guess I don't think that'd be the only thing that he's got.
Sure.
You know, because he starts pulling out boxes of stuff that I've never heard of. And the really cool thing as well is that he gets a bunch of amazing builders to make stuff. So, have you seen? Is it the Frankenstein?
By Ranger.
By Ranger. So that is one of the best fuzzes I've ever heard. And this is what I love about the Color Sound and the tone bender thing, is that they're still exploring, and
Yeah.
and it's wonderful. Dynamic audio manifestations.
Oh yeah, DAM, of course.
David at DAM does some as well,
Yeah.
with some funky transistors,
Yeah.
and you know, I mean, they're not cheap,
No,
but they are
They're-
amazing.
yeah, I mean, if you're going to have components that are, you know, twice my age.
Yeah, no, I love it.
You
I
know?
love it. I'm all in.
Cool. So this next one,
Mm-hmm.
I saw it and I thought of you
Right, because of the hair.
because of the hair in this video.
Yeah.
No, this is, you know how we always talk about how like Chase Bliss and all kinds of pedals are amazing, but you never know what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's like insane and you get all these cool sounds, but you can't really control it.
Yes.
Native Audio have released this Keeper phrase modulator, which is essentially, for me, would be a bit of a tensor killer on your board.
Oh, really?
Because it's like more immediate and it's simpler and
That's big.
there's
Big
no MIDI,
statement. All
but
right.
it just does a thing.
That's okay. Let's go. Let's go.
So what's cool about it,
Hello,
as
pretty
you-
lady.
as you just said, is that you've got a synthesizer inspired filter.
Yeah, that filter's. Can I say dope?
You can say dope if you want.
Okay.
It's 2026. You say what
Does
you
that,
like.
does that age me?
I'm old. I don't know.
It's,
I'm middling now. So.
all right.
But yeah, you've got a filter. You can go backwards. You can go forwards.
It's Rizzle. It's
6, 7, or whatever.
it sounds amazing. All right. Okay, I'm going to get one.
It's very cool. It's very cool.
The thing about the tensor that I love, it's that I think one of the things that would be difficult for me to tensor off the board is that after years of using it, I actually understand it now.
Totally. 100%.
And for me, I remember when we had Ed O'Brien in and we're discussing the board for the Radiohead tour, and he had a look at my board and he's like, "What's that?" And I just went, "Oh, you're gonna have."
It blows my
you're
mind
gonna-
that he didn't know them. Red
And
Panda
then-
are like
And then
the goats.
then the tensor was on his board for
Yeah.
the whole of the last tour, and he loves it. And I think that's one thing about user interface. I do think Red Panda do that as good as anyone, because it's not a simple thing. And for a simple being like me to actually be able to get hold of it, I think they're really on the ball with that
Yeah,
stuff.
100%. 100%.
But if you are big brain, you can then take that with the MIDI and just go,
yeah, you can do some very cool
it's
things.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay. Fabulous. What else we got? Just
that-
big week for. Oh, this is the new.
because
Source Audio.
Because Source Audio,
We love Source Audio.
they're amazing. They're
Yeah.
incredible. They've released, I don't know if any of you've seen, they've released a thing called the Pathways, which is a reverb and tremolo combination.
Pathways.
Love that for you.
Okay, there's 10 minutes left.
Okay, sorry.
Keep moving.
Sorry.
So you've got a bunch of reverbs and
Graham Cox
echo
will show me how
and
to play
stuff. Graham Cox is my friend. Everyone's my friend.
Sorry. The crazy thing is I've been playing that song for years in cover bands and
Doing it wrong?
always playing it wrong.
Really?
And I'm like, and he started playing and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, it's just really easy. You just
Yeah.
go. pathways. That's how you do that. Let's tough it up. Yeah.
He did know how to play it.
There you go.
Let's watch this new.
Sorry.
Sorry,
Okay,
sorry,
man
Lizzie.
alive.
Sorry. The thing that's cool about this is it's not just a spring reverb and like a harmonic tremolo,
Right.
because I feel like that's often the thing.
Yes.
This has got a ton of different reverbs and delays in it, and a bunch of different.
Let's do it. Show us.
So I'm going to show
Teach me,
you
shape me, mold me.
the harmonic hall, which I think is.
We'll have to explore that. I really like dual tremolo reverb things. They're a great. There's a great thing to have. There's a reason, and Lizzie, you have an exam to sit on this one afterwards. So reverb and tremolo are what we would find in amplifiers of some of the first effects ever made.
Yesteryear.
Because the spring that we could make a reverb, couldn't quite fit a plate in there unfortunately, but we could get a spring in there, and the tremolo. I think the diamond tremolo is like one of the first effects
that's
ever.
oil.
The oil.
Yeah,
oil
yeah.
can trem.
Yeah.
So they've been around for a long time, but the really cool thing about having them together is because they would sit in the amp, and you have them right at the end of your signal chain, and it's like, oh, there's a reason that amps are awesome, and the way that the reverb and trem would work in amplifiers. It's just super, super cool.
And equally it makes sense, because if you think about it, if you put the trem before the reverb, that would be potentially cool, but you wouldn't hear the tremolo like throbbing in the way that it does after the reverb.
Also, one thing that I do bang on about quite a lot is having the tremolo after delay, because what you don't want is a modulated amplitude signal and then that being delayed, and you just get this mixture of stuff.
It's a wash, isn't it?
If you have a delay that's pulsating away, but then you've got your tremolo at the end of that, you still hear the delay, but you hear the tremolo. The tremolo is like a master output volume that's being turned up and down, and you hear it. It's beautiful. Yeah. Dig it.
Yep. I just think it's cool that they've taken that archetype and then stretched it far enough to be creative, but not so far that there's so many endless possibilities that you end up not knowing where to go with it.
I'm interested in hearing it. One thing that I have struggled with in the past is digital tremolos. I like the Strymon Flint. I think that sounds quite good. But for me, whenever I've heard a digital tremolo or digital harmonic tremolo compared to a harmonious monk or another,
the real deal,
just an analog thing, because it's still not the real deal. The real deal is done with biasing. Do you know how the harmonic tremolo works?
Enlighten me.
Okay.
And Lizzie, take notes.
Here you go, take notes.
Okay.
So the signal goes in, and then it's split into basically a high pass, low pass filter, right? And then that goes into a tremolo circuit where one side, the phase is flipped.
Yep.
So you get this pulsating effect.
Yeah.
And it's just magic. It's just really, because you get the bottom end throb, and then as the top end comes in, you get this mid-range thing that happens.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a phaser with balls. And that's the only way I can describe it.
I know what you mean.
Because the mid-range doesn't disappear like it does in a phaser.
Yeah, because
sometimes you want that.
The emphasis of both.
Well, they're not.
together.
Yeah, because the signals aren't out of phase. The modulation is out of phase.
Yeah.
But so if you imagine you get a tremolo going like this, the signals are in phase, but it's the modulation that's out of phase. So you got the bottom and the top, bottom and top, and that beautiful crossover point. It's
mid-hump.
Really, really cool. So, that's how that works. It's an ingenious design. There's the brown panel Fenders back in '63. I think it was the Fender Super that had that. Joey had one on the show, and it was just like it changed Mick and my lives. It was amazing. And so it's such a cool sound. And yeah, I'd be really interested because Source Audio does this stuff so well.
Yeah, they don't mess around, do they?
No, and big shout out to those guys. They're the best people, but they take this stuff seriously. So I'm really interested to hear. I think what we should do, a shootout of reverb tremolo pedals, because there's a few out there now. I think that'd be fun. Okay, done. Ta-da. Well done, mate. That was brilliant. A really, really good splattering of pedals this week.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Just in the last 3 minutes.
Yes.
Do we want to just mention the...
Oh, yes. Okay. For the people who've been waiting, the Remote ×4 foot switch, which is on the screen now, will be shipping on from Monday, Lizzie, or Friday?
From Monday.
It'll be shipping
next
from
week,
Monday.
Yeah.
So for those that have been waiting, this is the Remote ×4 foot switch that remotely controls the loop on the +4 and also controls 2 other products that we have coming out in the very near future. My sexy voice didn't quite work for that one because it's gone up a little bit higher. Now I'm back to my really high voice now.
I'm really excited about these new products.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be...
I think they're going to be really cool for the people who need them.
100%.
And that's what we do.
There you go.
Yeah. What it does do is it shows a commitment to taking this stuff seriously. But no, yes, but if you're looking for the Remote ×4 foot switch so that you can control your +4 remotely, the really cool thing about the Remote ×4 foot switch, it powers directly from the +4. So it comes with a 7-pin DIN cable, and you just plug it into the +4. You put that on the floor. It's in the video. You'll see me switching stuff in the video, and it's really cool. So we are building them now. They'll be shipping from Monday.
Monday.
Yay.
There we go.
Stephen's just asked, can you please publish the MIDI in spec on the G3? I really need a list of which CC and PC messages on the G3 the G3 can read.
So at the moment, it's via PC mapping. So you decide which PC message you want for each foot switch, but we are working on full mapping.
So the good news is, to do what we've done with the web editor, each button, each preset has had to have a MIDI assigned to it. So now that this is done, we're going to give Michael a cup of tea and a good lie down. And then once he's recovered...
What would you do if he was Australian? Instead of a cup of tea and a lie down, what would it be?
That is Australian. That's Adelaide.
It would be a cup of tea.
So there was this little book for like a traveler's guide, right? And then it would go through all the states and tell you what they're great at. Queensland, glorious sunshine and amazing nature reserves, and Sydney, Sydney, the cosmopolitan centre of Australia. Nightlife in Sydney Harbour. Melbourne, the international art centre of the world. Adelaide, cup of tea and a good lie down. So
Great.
I tell you what, though, I used to play Adelaide all the time. Some of my favourite gigs I've ever done. Yep. It was
good tea.
Magic. It was just it's just such a beautiful, beautiful place. And I lived in Adelaide apparently from when I was 3 for a year. I have no memory of that.
Deep lore.
Deep lore. But anyway, there you go.
It's time to say goodbye.
Thank you all for watching. Thank you, BV. Thank you, Lizzie. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Linesman. Thank you, Ball Boys. We'll see you next week where we will give you some more shenanigans.
Bye.
Bye everyone.